Hello and welcome to another video from Manhattan South Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's now quite old, has become very collectible, and is becoming increasingly more difficult to find, especially in this very good condition. We are looking at the 1975 release by Arrow Games from their series of TV tie-in board games. And this particular board game we're looking at today is all based on the highly popular detective television series called Kojak, which starred Telly Savalas as Theo Kojak. Obviously, it was an American action crime drama television series. Telly Savalas was the star and was the name of the title character. And he worked for the New York City Police Department, and his full name was Detective Lieutenant Theo Kojak, and he was the man to solve all those crimes in New York City. The series ran for 5 years. It first aired in October 1973 and finally finished in March 1978. There was 5 seasons in all and a total of 118 episodes produced. So the series is set in the New York City Police Department. It's 11th Precinct, and the show revolves around the efforts of this tough and incorruptible Lieutenant Kojak, who's a bald, dapper New York City policeman, and he was very fond of dum-dums and of his using the catchphrase, "Who loves your baby?" Which I think became a very, very big catchphrase, and everyone was using it back in the 1970s. Very, very popular television series. So it ran for 5 seasons and 118 episodes. Made it very, very big. Telly Savalas was a very, very big movie star at the time, and for him to quit the movies and go to do a TV series was something that was quite surprising. But anyway, a very, very popular television series, and ran for a total of 5 seasons. Anyway, this particular board game is all based on that television series, and this is the board. The box in front of us, and it says Kojak at the top, and there is an image of Telly Savalas as Theo Kojak, and it says Detective Games, and it says Arrow Games Limited, with their logo at the bottom right hand corner. Okay, that's the front of the box. Let's just spin it around and see if there's anything printed on the back. Okay, so I spun the box around, and surprisingly there is something printed on the back. Back in the 70s, they didn't usually do this, but this one does have printed on the back, and it says Kojak Detective Game for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 to adults. It's just like any other 24 hours at Manhattan South, the police precinct where Theo Kojak, Crocker, Stavros and Sapperstein waged their unrelenting battle against the violence and corruption of the city. Captain of Detective Frank McNeil has 4 new cases to assign to the Kojak squad: a killing, a con game, corruption in high places, and a bank raid. Now you can work with the Kojak squad. Any 2, 3 or 4 players can race to be the detective making the quickest or the most arrests by following the reports and instructions sent in by Kojak, Crocker, Stavros and Sapperstein. Kojak is the game that puts you out on the streets of New York City. You operate 2 squad cars. You are assigned to one of the 4 cases handed by the Kojak squad. You are fed information by the squad, and you maneuver your criminal into a position where he can be put under arrest. Join the Kojak squad, play Kojak, be the best detective in town. Contents: 2 sets of game cards, 4 police badges, 8 plastic cards, 4 plastic criminals, 1 dice and a playing board. And it says, ask to see the rest of the Arrow range of box games and crafts. Look for this sign, Arrow Games Limited. Enjoy a good game. Okay, that's the back of the box. let's just have a look at the bottom of the box. Let's just zoom out a little bit so we can see it all. So it says Kojak Detective Game for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 to adult, and you've got the arrow logo again in the bottom right hand corner there. And it says a Milton Bradley game, and over on the other side it has Kojak Detective Game again for 2 to 4 players, age 8 and up, Arrow Games Limited, Milton Bradley. And on the ends it says Kojak Detective Game number 6914, Arrow Games Limited, made in England, MCA TV 1975, plastic parts foreign. Again, you've got that Arrow logo, and I'm wagering it's going to... Oh, no, it's different at the other end. At the other end, it just says Kojak Detective Game. There we are. Okay, why don't we open the game up, set it up, and let's see what it looks like in play. Okay, so I opened the box and laid the contents down, and this is what we got. So we've got the trap cards, we've got the contact cards, we've got the police warrants, we've got 2 of each colour squad cards, and we've got the 4 criminals and the dice, and we've got the 3 Kojak cards, as well as the game rulebook. Okay, let's open it up and see what it says. So it says the game can be played by any 2, 3 or 4 detectives, the Manhattan South Precinct, who each act on the reports and instructions of the Kojak squad. 4 serious crime files have been opened at Manhattan South, and Frank McNeil, the captain of detective, has assigned files to Lieutenant Theo Kojak and his men. Okay. So the object of the game is to make the most number of arrests. The winner is the player who arrests most of the 4 criminals on the board. If after the last arrest there should be a tie, the first detective to drive both of his cars to the police HQ car park becomes the winner. Contents: playing board, 4 pairs of squad cards, which we got, 4 criminals, 20 trap cards, including 3 Kojak cards, 16 contact cards, 1 dice, and 4 police warrant cards. So we got everything. Carefully press the contact cards, trap cards, and police warrant cards. Shuffle each of the cards and place them face down, provided on the board. Fold the police warrant cards and position these in police HQ at Manhattan South. Place each criminal on the black spot on the circle of the location: bank, city hall, club, or hotel. So there's black spots on each of those. You can see here, there's one here, one there, and there's one at the clubhouse and one on the bank. Each detective chooses 2 squad cars of the same colour and places them in the downtown car park. So we've got car park there, car park there, car park there, car park... Oh, there's the downtown car park in the centre of the board there. Each player throws a dice. The one with the highest throw starts, and the player takes it in turns in clockwise direction. After the first objective is the contact car room, where each player will be given his assignment. The player moves one of his cars from the downtown car park by the number of squares shown on the dice. The cars move into the direction of the arrows and move only reverse if a 6 is thrown, and then only for 6 spaces. U-turns are not allowed. A car may not overtake when a square is occupied by 2 cars going on the same direction, and he must wait in the square behind until at least one lane is clear. At this stage, the game is At this stage of the game, a player ignores any trap card squares on which his car stops. A player may only draw a trap card after his contact card has given him a specific assignment. To reach the contact card room, it is necessary to throw the exact number with the dice. On entering the room, the player takes the top card from the pile. The card will indicate the case in which the detective has been assigned: red file, blue file, etc., and the colour of the location, and the detective will keep it until an arrest has been made. Should a player pick a colour which has already been assigned, but for which a warrant has not been issued, he places it at the bottom of the pile and draws another card. If a warrant has been issued, he must join in the hunt for the same criminal. The player's first car will now proceed to throw of the dice to the location of the criminal and will take up a stakeout position in the car park, adjourning it. It is necessary to achieve exact throw to enter the car park. After achieving this, the player's second car may now move off from the downtown car park, and its immediate objective is the HQ car park, where it will pick up a warrant card. The warrant card must be the same colour as the squad card. When the second car reaches Police HQ car park, the player may take his warrant card and place it on the location where he has under surveillance. Only when the player has set up a warrant card can he arrest the criminal, and may move either of his cards when throwing the dice. Trap cards. The task of the Kojak squad is to manoeuvre the criminal onto the red section of the circle in order that the squad car crews can make an arrest. This is done through the trap cards, which record the progress made by the Kojak squad in the investigation of the cases. A player has access to the trap cards once he has been assigned a case. Okay, it's quite a complex game, this is. A player landing on a trap card square by an exact count takes a top card from the trap card stack and follows the instructions on it. If he is instructed to move a particular criminal by his criminal file reference, e.g. move yellow criminal 3 spaces, then he must do so regardless of the case to which he himself has been assigned. When a Kojak card is turned up, his own criminal is automatically moved onto the red area ready for arrest. After carrying out the instructions, the trap card is returned to the bottom of the stack. Arrest. A criminal may only be arrested when he stands in the red section of the circle and when either of the squad cars lands on the location entrance space marked with handcuffs, and when the warrant card has been set up. Charging. Once an arrest is made, the criminal is moved from play and charged. The police warrant card is returned to Police HQ, and contact card is returned to the contact card room and placed at the bottom of the stack. The player keeping both cards on the road will move one car towards the contact card room, where he will collect a new assignment and move on at once to the new location given. Once arrived at his new stakeout position, the player can dispatch his second car to Police HQ for a warrant card. For the nostalgic reason, the player should try to keep the car as close to Police HQ as possible. If a player is assigned to a case for which an arrest has already been made, he should continue to draw from the contact card stack until he gets a file that is still open. If a player reaches a location that already has a warrant card set out on it, he can place his own alongside and join in the hunt for the criminal. Shorter version of play. As an alternative to the above, the winner can be the first player to make an arrest. All rules for the game are the same. Look for the sign, enjoy a good game. Okay, so it's quite a complex game. It's not quite as simple as a lot of the other ball games at the time, but quite complex. They made it complex probably because it's a detective game, I would imagine. Okay, but seems to be quite a good game, quite in-depth, and could go on for a long time, which is probably why they offered the shorter version as well. Okay, now, how well did this game do back in 1975, I hear you ask? Well, as I said earlier, 1975, Kojak was at the height of its popularity. It was an extremely popular television show, and as I say, there was a colossal amount of episodes produced. And going by the fact that 118 episodes were made over 5 seasons, you can tell that it was a popular show. Back in the day, if shows weren't popular, they were axed quite quickly, especially on the American networks. But this turned out to be very, very popular. And even though it only ran up until 1978, there was quite a lot of reruns, and it was still being shown in the 80s. So, yeah, very, very popular show. And of course, popular shows, what does that mean? Merchandise. So fair amount of merchandise was spawned, games, annuals, activity books and so on. I don't recall seeing any Kojak figures. I could be wrong there, and if anyone has a Kojak figure, I'll be interested to know what it looks like and what have you. So perhaps anyone that does know of figures that were produced for this TV series can contact me or drop me a message. That'd be interesting. But as usual, merchandise was produced for the popular television shows, and this one was no exception. Now, I don't know how many of these board games were made, but I do know that it was a very, very popular game at the time. I can remember my cousins having the game. We used to have game nights back in the 70s and the early 80s, where we would come over to my cousin's house, or they would come over to our house, and we would all sit around a table and play games. And we played this game. I can remember the actual game. I don't remember actually playing the game, but I do remember the box and the game being brought over. So maybe I was too young to play it at the time. I can't remember. But we did used to have game nights, and there was lots of games that we used to play. Obviously, back then there was no such things as videos, DVDs, internet streaming services, nothing like that. So if you didn't watch your TV shows when they were being broadcast, you missed them, and then you had to wait for a rerun to see any episodes that you missed, which might take months or even years, or maybe sometimes never was shown again. So if you missed it, tough luck, you know. So the object was not to miss your favourite TV shows. But the object of all these merchandise was to keep the TV series fresh in your mind and popular when it wasn't on air. And by producing games and activity books and annuals and so on, that was what done the trick. So you're all eager for the next season to start. So popularity of this game, yep, just like all the other games, very popular. And I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure they would have sold out of everything that was produced. Okay, let's move forward 50 years to 2025, which is where we are today. Do these games appear very often on the platforms? Well, yeah. I mean, they do pop up on the platforms from time to time. Not as often as you would have expected, but they do still appear from time to time on the platforms in various different states of condition. Again, if you are thinking of buying on a platform, do be careful, because somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. There's a big scope of differences between people's opinions. I don't really understand why they do that, but that's the way they do it. And some of the platforms, don't forget, use stock images and stock descriptions. So you could be looking at a game like this, which is almost in immaculate condition, but there's no new ones available, so it automatically goes to the cheapest used item, and that might not be complete, or it might be missing pieces, or it could be damage to it. So if it doesn't say new and it says used, click that used link and read what you're about to order. Otherwise, you will be disappointed when it arrives. So just a tip for you. It's happened many, many times. I know many, many people that have done that. And it's not the seller's fault either. All the buyers come to that. It's just the way the platforms are designed. So, you know, just do be a bit careful. Alternative, you don't need to go through any of that rigmarole. You can come straight to us at Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you would receive should you wish to order. We don't believe in stock images, we don't believe in stock descriptions, and if we have different conditions, they are shown under completely different products. So you can only order what you are looking at. You cannot order something else, not unless you go over to that particular item. And this item, as of today, is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website. Now, this item, again, was part of a group of board games that we bought from a gentleman who had been collecting games since the 1960s and had retired and wanted to offload his games because he was moving to Spain for his retirement, and he didn't want to take all the games with him. Now, I don't think he ever played with the games. I think he just bought them, stored them, just looked at them from time to time, but never actually played the games. But he was a collector, and he asked us if we wanted to buy them, and there was probably somewhere in the region of about 50 board games that we bought off him when he retired, and this was amongst one. So the condition is absolutely fantastic. It's probably as close to mint as you will probably find these days. There is some wear along the edges of the box, but other than that, the game's in absolutely fantastic condition, and it is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It'll take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage board games, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories. So stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you'd be looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful vintage Kojak detective game with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video. So bye for now.